Last week was a cracker of a week as we tested all our main lights on Meraai. However, the cherry on the cook was when we fired up our 5.7 litre ADE motor with spectacular results. This week we come down to earth with a thump as all the excitement of last week becomes a distant memory. Markiplier Chris gets cracking on a plan to access our roof, and an issue raised a few weeks ago threatens to deplete the little finances we have left. All this and a few more destroyed brain cells in this, our episode number 125 of A Dream Called Meraaai. It is a new week, it is a new day, and I have no idea how we are going to even try and compete with last week's episode, which was epic, wow, you name it, just awesome. This week, a few little niggly issues which have raised their head, which have to be addressed. I'll get to them a little bit later. And we're busy with small iffy things again. So without further much ado, let's see what the oaks are up to. Markiplier Chris is beginning work on a vital component to help us service and use a few of Meraai's features. One of the things we have to do is organize a way to get up onto the roof as well as a little bit of height so that we can open our awning. So in order to do that we need a ladder, and that is what Chris is busy making now. Meraai's going to have a ladder and a stocking on the left side of our big girl's rear end, and it will be secured onto our spare wheel bracket mount. There will be 2 steps on the spare wheel bracket to get us up the ladder. The construction is simple and functional and strong enough to support a hefty weight. We're using a light steel for the construction. It does not take Chris long to complete the ladder, and now it waits patiently to be installed. This ladder will also give us access to our solar panels and other fittings on the roof. Chris bangs a bracket together and our ladder is test fitted and looks fantastic. A whoop whoop from Braam means something is up. It is the installation of our main entrance door handles. These handles are made of a high-grade stainless steel and are used on ocean-going yachts. Our lock is a Yale keypad lock. We will also add some sort of sliding lock on the inside for extra security at night. Chris's mini-me Nikki is still busy with our flooring and the finishing off of the interior panels. Nikki is spending a massive amount of time finishing off the floor. Our rear lights, which I thought would already be finalized, watch quietly as Nikki slowly and methodically cuts panels for all the nooks and crannies on the floor. I sometimes feel that I possibly should have got flooring guys in to do this. It's no reflection on Nikki's diligence, it's just taking far too long. The guys have managed to do all these little bits and pieces. The ladder's looking great, the handles are looking great, the work that Nikki's doing on all those finishing off on the inside, the beading is coming along very nicely. So yeah, while doddling along, but in a cool way. A cool dodder. In the engine compartment, there are more iffy things that have been attended to. Chris has started working on our accelerator installation. It is more complicated than it sounds, as the accelerator needs a cut-off system installed. But more about that some other time. I got quite a response last week to the new flooring that we are going to be putting in. One of the concerns that some of you raised was weight. Particularly with us using the flooring material underneath our overhead lockers. Now, I just want to put your minds at rest. Here's the stuff. It is thin. This is like the Rolls Royce of PVC flooring. It's thin, it's light, it's strong, it's waterproof, and it is eye-wateringly expensive. But if I'd done it the first time round, yeah, I just should have. But anyway, so this stuff is really, really, really good. So from a weight point of view, It is light, man. It is very light. While waiting for the flooring adhesive to dry, Nikki starts to place the panels on the top compartments. It's a tricky job, and I'm not quite happy with a few things. What we're finding out is because some of them aren't exactly square, so you're ending up with little gaps. And it just doesn't look very tidy when, even if you cut the board off straight, there's a space. Doesn't look lacquer, so we've got to fill that space. So once again, we're probably going to rely on our trusty aluminium strips just to put it over that, and so that it looks all pretty. My decision to cover the base of the overhead storage units is setting us back time-wise. Another little challenge with this cladding we're putting on are all the little downlights. They've already obviously been fitted, but now we need to unfit them. And luckily there are only 3 that are impacted. The ones on the ceiling, on the white ceiling, are absolutely fine. So yeah, little missioning, little missioning. A man on a mission who is as elusive as the Scarlet Pimpernel is back at Meraai. Off-grid Donald's visit is to move our water pipes that have become hard to access since the brake system was installed. It's a small move, but a critical move. Donald works quickly and the problem is sorted. If only everything moved along as quickly. Last week I was beset with niggles. Well, an old niggle is back. There is something I want to chat about, and that is these little catches. Now, a few weeks ago I brought up the concern we have that they were just popping open when people were walking around inside the vehicle. And that really freaked me out. So I did make a posting on social media, and people said to me, no, you must get this lock and that catch and da-da-da-da. Anyway, I got a quote to replace all of these, and that quote was for 14,000 Rand. But in the meanwhile, the boys behind me have come up with an ingenious solution. The problem was, when this lock was locked, this little catch here wasn't locked. You have a bump, that goes like that, boom, it opens. So what they've done now is, with a little bit of a modification, when the key is locked, it can't go down all the way. Got a bit of movement, but it can't go down. So I am very chuffed about that. It has saved a fortune. I still need to test these catches out to be 100% sure they are doing the job. The people I got them from say they are okay. If not, then I will need to break the bank to sort this out. It is Friday morning and the Doddle continues. Very, very slow progress this week. Very, very worrying about the slow progress. But just one thing you can see, I'm wearing a little hoodie. Winter has hit us. Now, when you live on the south coast, any temperature below like 19 degrees is bliksom's cold. Today, it's like 17 degrees. That is freezing, bro. That's like hypothermia. I know yokes in the UK would probably still be on the beach in a bikini, but yeah, KZN South Coast, this is bitterly cold. But enough of the weather. Let's see what's dawdling along inside there today. Another little setback. When this plate, which holds our second fridge freezer, is in position, the exhaust is touching the plate. So now the exhaust needs a slight modification. It is never ending, and I'm starting to think that the guys may be losing focus. What's also really worrying me is that the oaks haven't been measuring up properly. So like this box that we're talking about up front there, the floor hasn't been cut in such a way to accommodate it. The old floor was cut like that, but since the new one has gone in, now that's why this box isn't fitting properly, because it's lying on top of the floor. It should be sitting flush with the floor, and I don't know why it wasn't seen. It is quite possible that Meraai fatigue is setting in, and that is not good for us. By lunchtime Friday afternoon, the new floor had been lifted to sort out the measurements. A step backwards. Chris had climbed in and adapted the exhaust to solve the issue I mentioned earlier, and soon the exhaust is back in position, a step forwards. It took Auto Mike to put a smile back on my dial. He has hooked up our winch to the power source and it is time to test it. First up is to test the system using the remote.
These people are too clever.
What's that on it?
Yeah, this is
Well, the clever people made sure that all is good as far as the remote is concerned. Next, Auto Mike puts the fixed cable control through its paces. The Roomba 13,000 pound winch is ready for action. Auto Mike needs to also speed things up a tad and sort out the fuse box. Once that is done, the guys can close up the driver's cab panels. Well, that's it for this week. A far cry from the wow of last week's episode, but a busy episode with a lot going on. Few things bugging me, stuff slipping through the cracks, not good, and we can't afford to have that right now, not at this stage of things. I'm not sure if we'll have an insert for you next week. I need to go to Johannesburg to see one of my children off who is going to start a teaching job in Thailand. I've said to my kids, if you can, leave South Africa. My daughter's safety is paramount, and the gender-based violence in this country freaks me out, and I just feel a lot happier if they are somewhere where I feel they're a bit safer. So breaks my heart. It should never have happened. It shouldn't come to this, but it shows you what this government has done to families. It's ripped them apart. We're just fortunate enough that we can do what we are doing, and my kids can spread their wings. So I'll try and bring you an insert, but I can't promise. So on that note, please guys, be careful if you're driving. Take it easy. Don't use too much electricity. We'll have a damn blackout. You heard what the oak said. So don't use it. Braai. Please look after yourselves and keep safe. Remember to like us on Facebook and subscribe to our channel on YouTube. You will find us under A Dream Called Meraai. Until next time, keep your dreams alive.